This is Katie, and this is Movies and Mischief with Matt-n-Katy. And today we want to talk to you about The Woman in the Window. This is a movie currently streaming on Netflix. I think it debuted yesterday.
Based on the novel by A.J. Flynn. Flynn.
I
think it was Finn.
You know AJ, he wrote it.
I think it's a woman.
She wrote it. My apologies, AJ.
I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Stars Amy Adams, Gary Oldman, Julianne Moore.
Anthony Mackie, Brian Tyree Henry, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah. It follows Anna, who is agoraphobic. What's agoraphobic?
She's afraid to go outside.
And she basically watches the world. She spends her days watching the world outside her window. She has new neighbors move across the street. As you would imagine, she's interested in them. She sees something, and the story develops from there. She has some questionable mental issues.
She has some
substance abuse issues. So the thing she thinks she sees, nobody really believes her. But that's all we're going to say.
We don't know as an audience if she saw what she saw either.
Right.
Based on some other things that you find out.
Yeah. So what'd you think, Katie?
It felt like Shutter Island in a weird way, in that it was beautifully acted. It was gorgeous to look at. Music is great. Cinematography. There were some brilliant moments with the cinematography that were just
yeah.
But I haven't read this one, and I pegged what was going on pretty early.
Yeah,
which is what happened with you with Shutter Island, because the way the screenplay was done, the novel of Shutter Island just blew your hair back because the reveal was so... And you caught that one within the first 20 minutes because of the screenplay. I think the same thing happened to me with this, and we're not going to tell you anything about it because it's still worth watching. But yeah, I did have it figured out, and I don't normally have them figured out.
Yeah, you figured it out. You got to stop saying that out loud. Because once you figured it out, I kept thinking, I was like, maybe she's right. Oh, shit, maybe she's right. Instead of letting me figure it out myself. Goofball.
Yeah. Well, you asked me something. That's the only reason.
I liked it, but I don't think I'll watch it again.
Yeah, it's definitely a one-watch thing.
This is no Gone Girl or, what was it, Girl on the Train, Woman on the Train. I like a good thriller, mystery, murder mystery type thing, especially when you have an unreliable witness. But I kind of agree with you. Some of the red herrings were obvious red herrings.
And it fell into some of the things that there are times that when you're watching a movie and a character is behaving in a way that I just think, if this person were actually in my house, if this is a person I had just met and didn't already know, and we didn't have any friendship or long relationship, shorthands with each other, and they were acting this way, I would be so on guard and so on edge because there's just something off. And it wasn't, that was several characters.
Yeah.
That was almost everybody that she interacted with except the police. I was thinking for every single person, there is something wrong with this person. This is not a normal. So it was
kind of weird to me because, and I do this a lot with these kind of movies, there comes a moment where I'm like, well, if they're real police, why aren't they looking into this? And there was, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's something that when it first starts, I'm like, well, do what you're supposed to do as a police officer, and I'm sure
they kind of gloss over. They're like, "Oh, everything's fine. We've checked on this thing," and you're like, "Yeah, but did you really check it in? Or, how hard did you look, or did you just?" But that, in some ways, that's also probably pretty valid because that happens too. Where if you watch and listen to as many insane true crime podcasts as I do, you know how many times the police have dismissed somebody's testimony because of their perception of that person, when if they had actually listened, things would have taken a turn. But there were brilliant things. She's on a lot of medication, and she's also drinking, which she's not supposed to be doing. And there were times where there's a moment where she looks across the street and everything is tilted
Yeah.
just a little bit. And that happened a couple times where they're just beautiful shots and you're seeing things. There's one breathtakingly gorgeous moment when a big reveal happens that just immediately, they did all kinds of really interesting things with lights and shadows and sound, and yeah,
it looked really good.
It's definitely worth watching once.
Yeah, I would say it's worth watching once. There were a couple editing mistakes. Of course, I always pick those out. There's one scene where she's wearing socks and then all of a sudden they're gone, and there was another something else. I can't remember what it was now, but there was a little one.
There's one
with
where,
her tenant.
because I noticed people's hands a lot, and for some reason I noticed Julianne Moore's hands a lot in this one. But Amy Adams has very short nails all the way through, and there's a point where they have a close-up of her doing, and her nails are just a little bit longer enough that you can actually see that she has a little bit of nail. I'm like, yeah,
that was weird.
Somebody should have paid closer. That happens a lot, because why are you going to pay for a close-up hand shot of somebody you're paying how much money when you can get a stand-in? But they should at least. They used to do it with Ben Affleck a lot, where some shots his nails were bitten down to the quick, some they were fine. I'm like, he does, what is it
right,
after movie after
reel
movie?
It back in here.
So I caught that one, is what I'm saying.
I liked I agree with you. The cinematography was beautiful. I mean, that's Joe Wright. He's just got a great eye. If you watch any of his movies, he has that eye for those kind of shots. The score was really good, and early on, it had a very distinct, and once I saw who it was, Danny Elfman does the score. Once I saw who it was, it made sense. But early on, it had this very distinct kind of circus sound. There was a section that had it didn't sound like this, but it was a da 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 da, which really kind of foreshadowed what was getting ready to happen. Because when the meat of this story hits, it really does. You feel like you're in some kind of mentally circus. It's just really
and
cool.
They did do a nod in the very beginning when it opens up. She's watching Rear Window, because obviously this is a Rear Window take kind of story.
This is a modern Rear Window kind of thing. And all of the movies she's watching in the middle, I don't know if you noticed, they were all like noir murder mystery films, which I thought was kind of a cool little nod. Yeah, and the whole thing is structured.
Watching all the way through, she's watching movies, and they're always old movies. They're always black and white. They're always that genre of movie. So it was a nice kind of holding on to the past in every part of her life kind of thing.
And it was structured. The whole film, the pacing, the editing, it really was structured like one of those classic 40s noir films, which I like.
It was not an action-y, fast-paced thriller.
The one thing I would tell people is don't watch the trailer.
No.
Just watch the movie, because this is another one of those examples where the trailer, there is a moment where there's supposed to be a big reveal. But unfortunately, if you watch the trailer, you kind of see that big reveal. And because I knew that was coming, I was waiting for it, and it kind of lessened the impact of how I imagine it would be, more like a wow moment.
You'll have to tell me after this, because I didn't watch the whole trailer. I watched the beginning of it just to know, okay, this is fine. I'm going to start watching trailers that way from now on. I give it like 45 seconds to a minute and then decide, all right, yes or no.
Yeah. So I would suggest watching it.
Yep.
Katie suggests watching it. The Woman in the Window. Currently streaming on Netflix. Give it a shot. I know this was one of the movies that I think was supposed to release last year in theaters, but like everything else, it just ended up on Netflix, and that's okay. This was really good. So that's all for right now. We're going to watch a couple more movies, one or two. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Please click like, click subscribe, comment.
Ring that bell.
Ring the bell. Let us know if there's anything out there you would like to get our thoughts on. And with that, we're going to let you get back. Bye now.